Okay, welcome back everybody. Dean and I are talking about some of my favourite things from his book. There's a lot in this book. How many chapters are there? Do you know?
200.
200
different topics.
Wow,
Yes.
so I just picked 25 I really liked, and we're just going through some of those. But this week, I think this is the number one tip in the whole book, actually,
Okay.
I think, which is to be a good listener, to learn to be a listener, to practice listening. I just think it's such an important skill. So tell me about, do you think it's right up there?
Oh, absolutely. It's especially from my career being in sales for most of my 30 plus years in business as a salesperson. What's the skill that every buyer says that salesmen aren't good at? Listening. We all talk too much. And now with artificial intelligence software, we can actually track the amount of time salespeople are talking versus listening on telephone calls or Zoom calls. And it's staggering, the 65%, 35% listening versus talking. Oh my goodness.
Is that what the average is? 65?
It's 65% of the time we are talking.
Yeah.
And but even in our personal lives, the importance of listening and being aware, and again, it goes back to my belief about the importance of emotional intelligence, and listening is a key part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you should never have more than half. If there's two of you, it should be half. And if there's four of you, you should never have more than a quarter, because that's just rude.
Right.
But I agree with you. When you're selling, I think you should be only talking maybe 10 or 20%, because you want to be finding out what they want and why they want it. And so I think for selling, it's probably the number one skill. And normally people think it's all about being a good talker, and it isn't.
Right.
And I think for influencing generally, listening is more powerful than talking. And for being liked as well. People don't want to hear you talking about yourself the whole time.
We've all been in meetings where, let's say there's a room of 10 people or there's a Zoom call of 10 people, and there's always one person who wants to dominate the call. Right? Isn't that true? I mean, there's always somebody who's talking too much. Would you just please be quiet and listen?
Yeah, it's
right?
huge. And of course, you're not learning anything when you're talking. So when I'm telling you about my holiday or my car or something like that, I'm not learning anything new.
Right.
And you probably aren't either, because you're probably bored. Whereas when I'm asking you things, I'm learning stuff. So I think for learning and being liked and managing people, you have to be a listener as well, don't you? You have to find out what are they happy or not? What do they like doing? What do they want to do? What do they think? So listening is and the flip side is really being a good questioner, isn't it? Because then they talk and then you're able to listen.
Asking good questions, listening. It's a skill that we all need to work on. And I think it's something there are courses on it. You can read about it. You can go online and research about listening. But it is a great investment of your time to spend and learn to listen better.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're not taught listening at school. And it's one of those underrated things that people don't really notice. They don't think about it unless they are reminded by a little video like this. So listening, it's absolutely the number one skill.